We want to take a moment to tell you that we do not officially endorse any of the methods or practices seen throughout our show. Many of these methods have not been approved by government agencies. Remember, the segment information is not a substitute for professional medical treatment. Before trying any new regimen, check with your doctor first. We are back with Dr. Carolyn Dean talking about panic attacks and some natural ways to keep them from happening, hopefully. We've got a lot of calls. I know Patty in Washington, Jeffrey in New Jersey, we know you're there. We just want to make one quick point about how diet affects the possibilities of these things happening.
Okay, if your blood sugar is low, if you haven't eaten for a number of hours, you're fasting, you're trying to lose weight. When your blood sugar is low, the mechanism in the body to put the blood sugar up is adrenaline. So your adrenal glands pump out adrenaline to push your sugar up. At the same time, they're going to increase your heart rate and then increase your respiration. When your heart rate increases, some people assume that they're anxious about something. They can feel their heart beating.
Right.
So that then if you're in a situation where you're scared or you're worried about something, then you can blow it into a panic attack.
It can escalate into that. So the point is to keep your sugar level as balanced as possible.
Right, right. Eat regular meals, take your basic vitamins.
Okay, we're going to get more into the vitamin issue in a moment. Let's hear from Patty in Washington, see what's on her mind. Hi, Patty.
Hi.
Ever had a panic attack?
Many.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, very. It's probably one of the worst things you could ever go through in your life.
Do you know what triggered it? Have you ever figured that out?
I think they started when I was a child, but my husband was killed in '79, and I think that's when I started having major panic attacks.
So have you figured out any way to keep them from happening, or what did you want to ask Dr. Dean?
Well, the thing is, I think I turn them into, I know how to control them, but now when I do, I think it makes me kind of sick.
Be a little more specific? How so?
Well, when I try to hold them in, I try to find other ways to cope with it, and I think it makes me physically ill.
Are you taking prescription drugs too?
They put me on Xanax and Buspar and Prozac and to try to control them.
Let's get a thought from Dr. Dean.
Yeah, Patty, when you're saying you try to hold them in, I think that's what we're trying to say here. The adrenaline has to be released. You have to use the adrenaline by exercise, by singing, by using it up, because when it stays in the body, it will settle. I mean, some people can get neck tension and back pain from adrenaline buildup. I know that's a very simplistic answer, and I'm not trying to treat you, but that's the mechanism, is to release the adrenaline energy.
Would it sound crazy if she were to go put on, when she feels one building, if she were to put on some music and start trying to do the stuff we showed in the Wave, for example? Would that not the worst idea for a start?
Not at all.
Yeah, and the danger of the prescription drugs now, let's make the point about that.
Well, I know in the drug books they say drugs like Valium, you're only supposed to use them for 2 weeks at a time. They're only for short-term episodes. But I think when people get on them for a long time, they can almost have a rebound effect. So it's good to find alternative solutions.
If you can. Let me hear from Jeffrey in New Jersey first, and then we'll talk about those alternative solutions. Jeffrey?
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm okay. I just had a comment for Dr. Dean because I had horrible panic attacks. I really did. And what I started to do was I found out that when I got them, doing simple yoga and simple stretching to help get the muscles of the back and shoulders and neck relaxed helped me a lot. And then also by using the adrenal glandula and kelp, I just really started to perk up. So I just thought I'd offer that as a comment.
Adrenal glandula and kelp. Thanks, Jeffrey. What's that?
Well, there are natural protomorphogens. They're the chopped up adrenal glands of animals, like lamb or, it sounds terrible.
Is that safe though?
Well, yeah, we eat chicken innards.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just like eating liver or something like that.
Helping for Jeff, but again, he said he moves with it. He gets into yoga.
Oh, the movement is great. But what Jeff is talking about, after a while, if you've had 100 panic attacks, your adrenal glands are going to be worn down a a little. So what he did was take a supplement in order to strengthen his adrenal glands. Vitamin C can do a similar job because there's a building block in vitamin C for adrenaline.
Okay, well, that's a good way to begin. Now, let's talk about some of the other supplements we can take to try to build up against this attack.
B vitamins are the most important. I can't tell you how many patients I have come to me and they say they feel tense and anxious and feel their heart pounding. They're deficient in B vitamins.
So which one specifically, 6 and 12 as well?
6,
Both?
12, B3, niacinamide.
And how much is enough, Dr. Dean? How do we know?
Well, I can't prescribe over the, but in the health food stores, most supplements are in 50 milligrams to 100 milligram dosages, and they're safe to take. They turn your urine orange or yellow, so don't be worried about that. And they're water soluble, so they're dissolved and go out of the body. They can't build up in any way.
How about an injection, a B12 injection?
B12 is excellent for some people if your doctor will give it to you. It is safe and harmless as well, and it's excellent.
Okay, let me grab a call from Cecilia in New York. Cecilia?
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Have you had this problem too?
Yes, I've had it 3 times. Thank God I've never experienced it like the other people have. But what I did, the first time I had it, I was so afraid. I thought I was going to die, and I just started praying and kept walking. I was out walking.
You feel totally out of control, don't you?
Oh, yes, you do.
Right.
And what I did the next few times I had one, I knew it was coming on, and since I knew I wasn't going to die, since I didn't die the first time, I was able to handle it.
That's it.
But I do think that being anemic and, you know, not really eating properly can really bring them on more so.
Thank you for bringing us to that point, Cecilia. Let's talk about how to eat properly.
Well, it's not going for more than 3 or 4 hours between meals. If you feel you're susceptible to panics, you should eat every 2.5, 3 hours. Because when your blood sugar goes down and it triggers off the adrenaline, it can make you think you're having an attack, but all you're having is a little bit of adrenaline. And everybody's mentioned that they've done some movement when they feel this way. You don't die from this, thank goodness. So if you pass through one safely, then you should think, oh, I survived that, I can survive it again.
That's a
and
good
then
point.
try to deal with it, prevent it from coming in the first place.
Now, there are some other supplements that can also help us build. Let's get them in as we continue to talk. Calcium is one, I think?
Calcium and magnesium are good. Calcium is good for relaxing and calming the nerves and helping with sleep. So that's a good one. Tryptophan used to be used, but then it got taken off the market because a binder from a product in Japan was found to be faulty. But for some reason, the amino acid tryptophan is still off the shelves, but it was excellent.
It had a sedating effect, certainly.
Yes, it's like Prozac. It's a natural Prozac.
Okay. So we can't find that anymore. How about valerian? Would that be helpful?
Yes, then there's herbs. Like valerian is the natural Valium. So by drinking valerian, hops, H-O-P-S, skullcap, chamomile, those herbs are very good for calming the nerves.
And I just want to mention real quickly the Bach flower remedies, which we'll have to have in a whole nother segment. These are flower essences that work on the natural, on the nervous system in some way. We're not sure how.
On the emotions. Aspen is for known
Each
fears.
one is for different kinds of fears.
Mimulus.
We're going to have to leave it right here, but we'll begin the next discussion with the Bach flower remedies. How's that, Dr. Dean? Terrific information. Hope it helps if you seem prone to panic attacks. We'll see you next time. We'll be right back.